On the phone, we have Antony Bruno. Antony, are you there?
I am here.
Thank you very, very much. Antony's calling in from Denver.
That's
Colorado, for everybody that doesn't know where Denver is. I'm kidding. Sometimes we have to explain things to our audience, you know.
Antony, how many business cards do you have that actually contains your entire title?
Yeah, you know that's a good title there, isn't it? It's almost embarrassing sometimes.
Can you explain exactly what the Executive Director of Content and Program for Digital and Mobile for Billboard Magazine does?
Absolutely. Basically, that's just a really long way of saying I'm the new media editor for Billboard. I basically cover all the areas where music and technology meet. So that includes things like iTunes and iPods, mobile phones, video games, social networks, so on. But I also produce several conferences for the organization as well that focus on basically those same areas. So we have a mobile entertainment conference. We're working on the digital entertainment conference, things like that. So that's, I think, where the content and programming line comes in.
You've been covering wireless technology for a while. Tell us when you first it bit you and you said, you know what, I got to start sharing. This is so interesting to me because usually when people write about something, they really are passionate about it, right?
Well, actually, that's funny. I would probably be the exact opposite of that. My entry into the wireless area was purely out of laziness. I was working at a suburban newspaper in Denver, in the early mid-'90s, I guess, and it was about 20 miles from my house. So I was looking around for another job, and there was a wireless trade newspaper that was headquartered just a mile away. So I figured I could ride my bike to work. I didn't own a cell phone. I didn't own a pager. I'd never really used them before. I just kind of went in there and sort of BS'd my way into the job, and was able to work much closer to home. But in the process of doing so, I was given a pretty cool beat, which was the early advent of getting the internet on your phone. I was able to cover all of that stuff as it was developing. So I sort of developed an interest, I guess, kind of through the back door a little bit, and kind of got into it from there. Eventually went to work for the Wireless Industry Trade Association, CTIA. Moved to D.C. to do that, again, focusing on the wireless internet. And somehow or another made my way to L.A. and got a job at Billboard doing this.
Well, coming from somebody who didn't even have a cell phone into what you do now, I mean, honestly, tell me what you've learned and how things have progressed and how things have changed during your duration as doing what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone from the total sort of ski bum Luddite to the biggest digital geek you know. I've got 4 phones, I've got 2 video game consoles, and I got wireless content streaming throughout the house over a Wi-Fi network. It's kind of embarrassing, but it actually has come quite a long way. I mean, if you look just at even the mobile phones, I remember the first mobile games were these little black and white games where you would text in your next move and have to wait 30 seconds for the next thing to come back. And now you've got full color screens and touch screens and games that are almost as good as some of the stuff you see in the Nintendo DS. So it's really been an interesting evolution, and to be at the front row of that and then seeing this kind of develop has been a really fascinating career so far, actually.
And as you've gotten into that and seen your career grow and followed everything, you come to the music side of things, the delivery of iTunes and the delivery of music on cell phones and iPods and all that kind of stuff. Where do you see that going? I mean, obviously we see video, you see movies, you see all that kind of stuff, but the music industry still needs to maintain, right?
Yeah, the music industry is in a pretty interesting spot. I mean, actually, anyone who owns content right now is in a pretty interesting spot because you're going from a transition from physical to digital, and it really changes up all the business models. And everyone is still working out how exactly they're going to do this. So it has been very, very interesting. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff that still needs to be worked out in terms of where's the money going to come from, who's going to pay for it, are anyone going to pay for it. And a lot of devices and a lot of technologies that still need to be worked out so they work together. For instance, the iPod only works with iTunes and unprotected MP3 files. That's a big problem. That's been really one of the things that have kept the digital music market from growing more than it even has been now.
With the iPhones coming out now, or they're out already.
A week it releases, right?
Yeah, June 29th, I believe, is the actual date.
Is it going to ship June 29th, by the way?
Sorry?
You think it's going to actually ship?
Oh, they've set that as a hard date. AT&T has actually already sent store owners some instructions on what to do if you have people camping out outside the stores to get it and such. So
really?
They're going to be in trouble if they miss that date. But no, I don't see that happen. They're absolutely.
Are you on there? Are you on their testing list? Do you get there at first so you can test it out and see how it works, so you can report it?
We'll see. I haven't gotten one yet, and I haven't had any word that I will be getting one. So it's always pretty hit or miss. Sometimes I get stuff, sometimes I don't. I don't really make a big effort to try to get things like that. If I get it, great, and I'll take a look at it. But I don't actually write product reviews. I more look at the broader business case
the broader scope of everything. Yeah.
And I'm not a consumer pub, so that's one of the other things. But about the iPhone, you had a question there. I didn't hear what it was.
Yes. It was. What are your thoughts about the iPhone, and what do you think? Is it going to revolutionize telephones and this whole PSP, personal PlayStation Slash? I mean,
and
it's incredible, right? Or no?
Movies that can be viewed on that. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think as a phone, like if I put my phone guy hat on for a second,
sure.
I think it's an awesome phone. I mean, it's really cool. It's got a lot of things that you can do with it that individually you've been able to do with other phones before, but this one, from what I've seen anyway, does a much better job of tying them all together. So, if the commercial that's out there right now is a perfect example. You call up a Google Maps to see where a nearby, pizza place is, and with one click you can just dial to them, whereas with existing phones, you got to exit out of one application and enter another one to dial them. It's kind of clunky. So that's actually pretty cool. From a music phone perspective, honestly, I don't think it's a big deal at all.
Right.
All it lets you do is transfer iTunes files onto a device, and to me, that's not exactly all that exciting.
Revolutionary, right?
But that's about it.
You touched on this a few minutes ago about your mobile entertainment live. Can you embellish a little bit more and tell us what that's all about?
Yeah, sure. Mobile Entertainment Live is a conference that we put on in association with the Trade Association for the Wireless Industry, CTIA. What it basically does is try to bring together the leaders of the entertainment world, whether it's music, movies, games, whatever, and have them sit down and speak and have panel discussions with people from the wireless industry to kind of work out what are some of the issues surrounding mobile entertainment, what can be done better, what does the wireless industry want to do, what does the entertainment industry want to do, and where those goals are aligned and where they diverge. It's really a pretty good show. We've been getting around 1,000 or so people each time, and some pretty interesting speakers show up to name a few in the past. We've had like Chuck D, Ray Manzarek from The Doors, as well as all the different people from the Carriers and whatnot. But I don't have any information for the next show yet. We haven't quite selected any speakers yet, but it takes place October 22nd in San Francisco.
I'm glad you mentioned some of the players that come to this this conference that you put on. I was going to ask you, from where you came from on your bicycle with no phones to where you are now. That's one of those good stories that you should probably share, or that you should share a lot. But what's like the most exciting thing that's happened to you with being with Billboard magazine? I mean, who are some of the who was the
cool,
coolest person
things,
that you met, or what's the strangest thing that's happened to you? Because what you do, a lot of people want to do. The people you meet, a lot of people want to meet.
That's kind of interesting. I would say, I've spoken with. I don't speak too much with the actual artists themselves. That's not really my role, but I do come across a lot of them as we, talk about how they want to use this stuff. I would say my biggest Billboard moment was when I met Chuck D at the show. I'm just an old school.
Are you like Yo MTV Raps, huh?
So, I'm sorry?
I said you like Yo MTV Raps. Is that who that is?
Well, no, Chuck D was the leader of Public Enemy.
That's right. That's right.
And he's also been very involved in how the internet can change the music industry. He's been very, very vocal about how artists can become their own labels. And so, we spoke at our show. We had a good Q&A with him. And then at the reception later on, he was there with some folks, and he was just very down to earth, very cool. Brought me over. Did a little back-to-back, arms crossed sort of pose, which I was like, framed. I mean, it was just,
man, what's up, man?
Yeah,
I don't
get starstruck that much, but that was actually a very cool moment, and we just had a great conversation just about where all these things are going, and to actually speak with an artist who knows what's going on and who's engaged with what's going on digitally and is trying to manage their career using that is actually really refreshing, because you talk to a lot of other artists, and frankly, they don't have a clue. They just sort of.
Right.
They throw out a couple of buzzwords and that's about it, but they really don't know. It's their managers or their labels that are handling it. So,
and they're not innovating it. They're not innovating it, adopting it, or anything. They're just doing what they're told to. They don't really get it. This guy's making it happen.
A lot of them aren't. I don't want to make a blanket statement there. There's actually quite a few artists that are actually engaged, but Chuck was the first one that I met that was actually like that.
Well, and you have to respect those pioneers too. Those are usually the people that are right on. Antony, thank you so much for calling in. I know you're busy. You've got things to do, and so we appreciate
I'm
that.
actually on deadline as we speak. So.
Well, then we better let you go, man.
Do you have any contact information that people can get in touch with you if they want to?
Simply abruno@billboard.com.
Easy enough.
That works.
Much easier than my title.
October 22nd in San Francisco is going to be the Billboard's Mobile Entertainment Live coming up this year. And we're going to be looking forward to seeing you out there with your 8.5 by 11-inch business cards with your title on it, bro.
Thank you very much, Antony. Have
Thanks
a good day.
For having me. Appreciate it.